Hello, Facebook family. I'm Adam. That's my darling wife, Carrie. We are the founders of Whole Life Entrepreneurship, and we are quarantined. Yes,
We are.
South Carolina has locked it down due to the coronavirus. We are not allowed to gather in groups larger than 10. School's out for about a month, and it's a new normal for the short duration.
Honest to goodness, our school has a plan through April 21st, I think. I don't know that we will actually use all that, but here we are, guys. Here we
That's
are.
right.
And there's some children in there. They've been here all day.
They've done work. It's been good.
They have done work. Thank goodness we live in a day and age when there's technology and they can still keep up with some of their schoolwork because of the blessings of technology. But I think in a lot of ways, this whole quarantine thing could be a blessing.
Yeah, we're not going to minimize the fact that there's some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a kind of a crazy time and it's a little scary.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know how bad or how overblown or if it's overblown at all. But what we can do is we can choose not to be victims, and we can choose to empower ourselves to make the best out of any situation.
Yeah, so we've been thinking about how we want to spend our time. First of all, we have our kids here, and most of the time we live our lives with about, I don't know, at least a half a glass full of guilt because
I have a glass full of guilt. Yeah.
because we're either
Yeah.
traveling or telling them,
Get out of this
not
room.
right now, I'm about to take a call, be quiet, we're about to go on Facebook. So,
Yeah.
In that way, it's a blessing that at least we're together.
Yeah.
I mean, normally they're gone half the day, and even though we're still going to have to conduct a little bit of business, we have our kids with us, and today it feels like a blessing.
Well, it's the beginning.
Day one.
It's the beginning.
Day one of quarantine. Let's see how we feel, towards the end of these next few weeks. But we've been thinking of some other things that we can do
Yeah.
to utilize our time wisely as business owners. And yes, number one is to appreciate the fact that we have extra time here in our home together with our kids. So we will be creating space and time to be able to do cool things with them while we have them. Yes?
Yes. But
Yeah.
I have to be honest. One of the things that went through my mind was what a fantastic time to completely disconnect and to sit back and watch Netflix and spend a month. I mean, we could spend a
You
month.
totally could.
And-
I've eaten a good bit of our quarantine snacks already.
But I feel like that not only would be wasting an opportunity, it's also just risky. I mean, look, we have the opportunity to see that the world is going through a bit of a change.
Yeah.
And, we want to do this in a way that's a life of success without regrets.
Yeah.
So this means, how can we be amazing parents and spouses to each other and take advantage of this opportunity and do some extreme focus?
Yeah, never has there been a time really when you have been forced to look at everything going on in your household, because guess what? You're stuck there. So, some other things you can think about when you're thinking about how to be productive during your time in quarantine. You can work on your content. Maybe you're somebody who really struggles with content. Maybe you need to figure out how to write a blog. Maybe you need to figure out how to put your video through rev.com and get a transcript to make a blog because you hate writing blogs.
So yes, you can dive into technology. You can dive
start
into...
thinking about that.
There's always this thing that you want to do. And by the way, we are assuming you have some additional free time that's been forced on you. I was supposed to be going to at least 3 conferences.
We had 3 conferences get canceled on us. Some other things you could do. You could level up your social game. I've been seriously looking into the TikToks.
Now,
I think it's very interesting.
No.
I'm very interested in seeing how it works. I want to know all of the ticking talks. So that's something I plan to do. Canva. If you need some extra time, go make some freebies on Canva. It's like so therapeutic for me to put make a creation. It's like what I imagine it's like for people who quilt.
It's getting this complex thing in your head on paper and in such a way you can share it with somebody else and say, "You get what I'm thinking about now?"
I love it.
I'm like, yeah, we're probably
You
on the same
can
page.
organize files, and I know that sounds super, super boring, but
We are
Yeah.
adopting a new project management software. We're
We
moving
are.
over to Asana, and we have to get our documents in order.
we do.
So, in short, you've been putting a lot off, and that's called operational debt. You've been like hustle, hustle, hustle. Now you're forced to slow down, and it's time to pay off some of that operational debt by understanding some new technologies, getting organized. It is a fantastic opportunity.
And so, because we are all seeming to find some extra time on our hands, Adam and I have decided that we are going to, for the next 2 weeks, give away a free work-life balance assessment.
Yep.
This is something that we do for all of our coaching clients, and we're saying to you guys now that, because there's not really a better time to do it. Now is a great time for you to really look at the stuff that you're doing in your business and see what you're doing in your life and make sure that they're all running alongside together. So we are giving away those work-life balance health checks for free. So all you have to do is go to wlemission.com/coaching, set up a call with us, and we'll get on a call and talk about exactly what that looks like. So we're excited to be able to give that to you guys for free.
And by the way, if for some reason you're in a hurry and you don't see a time slot open because we've been giving this away for a while, well, not for a while, all day, and time slots are filling up, just direct message Carrie and I.
Yeah, just message me.
And
we'll work out a time.
We'll figure it out.
Even as our Zoom calendar starts filling up, we can always scooch some things around if we have to. So please, by all means, go to wlemission.com/coaching, and we will get you rocking and rolling with your work-life balance health assessment. It's a pretty in-depth thing. It's pretty cool.
Let me tell you why it's important. It's going to help you grow your business by slowing down, rebaselining, and coming up with a plan. You take this opportunity and you work with us for the next 2 weeks, and you will come out the other side of this crisis in a business that is far better than the one you have right now.
Right.
Positioned to grow, positioned to make money, and positioned to help the people that you're trying to help.
So last week in our private group, we talked a lot about the problems that we solve. So the week before, earlier, we talked about your ideal client. March is all about building a really, really strong business from the foundation up. So this past week, we talked a lot about the actual problem we're solving and how to determine exactly if our business is fitting into the right holes.
Yep. Problem interview, solution interview. Are you solving a problem that's a nice to have or a must have? And if so, how are you positioning it to best help your customers?
Yeah, so all of us are problem solvers. That's what we do. We are all here to solve a problem for our clients. And the best way to do that is to be an investigator and just really get a full understanding. So now that we know exactly who our ideal client is, we have to get a real understanding of who they are and what their needs are and start learning how to cue into their needs. So oftentimes we're finding that many people build a product and then they're disappointed or they're really bummed because nobody's giving them $1 million gazillion for the product they built.
Or I'm not getting any likes.
Do they know how much time I spent on that product?
I do a lot
And
of
now they
content.
just don't want it?
How dare they?
How dare they?
How dare they?
And sometimes that's just because we're solving a problem we think our customer has.
Yep.
Not what they actually have.
Yes, I remember we built a business called LFG Gaming, and ladies and gentlemen, it was amazing. It was our first brick and mortar store. It was a coffee shop meets internet cafe, and I made it look perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. Unfortunately, turned out our primary customer were adolescent boys in high school.
With no jobs, and they couldn't pay for anything.
Turns out they did not love how at the time, 30-something-year-old man would build out an internet cafe. having who your customer is in mind when you're trying to figure out what problem you're solving and then developing a solution isn't guesswork. It's talking to that person, a lot of that kind of person, and asking. And then using your brain sack to come up with solutions and then going back and testing.
Yeah, the whole thing is, and that's the other thing with like having $1 million idea, right? Because you have to test things. Just because it's $1 million idea does not mean that people want to give you $1 million for it. So that's what you really have to kind of determine and test and test and test. And I've been doing this now for 2 years, and I still have to slow myself down and not get too frustrated or rush past something without understanding. How often in a day do I say, are we building what they need? But are we building what they need? But is this really what they need? And we have to test it and test it and test. Like, I'm almost annoyingly obsessed with trying to provide exactly the right key for their problem.
Yes. And I gotta say, I feel like we really have found it. And the thing is that we try to do all this stuff. And you've gone through this too. 100 products have gone out there, I'm sure. The thing that we found out people actually want after all of our conversations is that people want one-on-one attention for their problem, and they want a really smart person who's empathetic and intelligent to talk that problem through with them and help them come up with a solution, and then hold them accountable while they go and do the thing.
Yes, and they also want someone who's really, really, really knowledgeable and has a lot of experience. And guys, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but my guy knows a little bit.
So
he doesn't know where his socks are.
No, this right here came from wisdom. About 25% of that's my kids. About 25% of that wisdom comes from my wife, and 50% of that is business. No, it's good wisdom. It's not stressful.
So we would love to sit down and do a full check with you. Again, like, this is not your mama's business coaching, okay? We're just scratching everything and doing this in a completely different, revolutionary way. So we're super excited to show you how we're doing stuff now. We're just getting rave reviews from everyone we've done this with. So please, by all means, we love to take some time in the next few days, the next few weeks, to go over this health check with you. We're all here in the same boat together, so why not?
You owe it to yourself to take an hour to talk with somebody about what's bothering you and see if something can come out the other side. There's no reason not to. Just go. WLEmission.com/coaching. Get your spot. If there's not one available soon enough for you, direct message us.
Y'all, hang in there. Yeah. We're going to get through this coronavirus together. To all of our business owning friends who may be experiencing any kind of hardship or suffering, our thoughts and prayers go out to you during this time, because we know how hard it is to struggle when you have expectations for your business, and then by some fluke accident, for whatever reason, those expectations aren't met. So certainly our thoughts and our prayers are going out to all of the small businesses who are suffering because of this quarantine.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any other questions? Certainly message us. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your quarantine.
Ooh, cheers.
Bye, guys.
Bye.